Hi, welcome to www.mywealth.com. My name is Bob O'Brien, and today's blog is more common missed tax deductions. I wanted to just do a blog that was a little bit, that might help you through tax season and make the whole experience a little bit more interesting and fascinating, whether you're doing your tax yourself or you're working with a preparer. So you definitely want to check the written blog for this blog more than any other one, because A, I have a couple of great jokes in there, and B, you need to download Schedule A to really make the most of this blog and compare it to the written blog. And of course, you can rewatch the video as well. But I wanted to point out some things when it comes to interest. Interest, which is tax deductible. Interest you pay. Certain interest is tax deductible. Mortgage. Obviously, most people know that. That's pretty common. But I want to point out in the current economy, in the real estate market, in the credit crisis that we're in, that if you sold a home and you actually lent the money to the person that was borrowing the money and buying the home, okay, that person that would be buying the home from the seller and borrowing the money from him would be able to take the interest deduction. And it's right there on the Schedule A. So in other words, you don't have to necessarily go for a bank. This is something that might come in helpful in this real estate market. And also, if you were the seller lender and you're receiving that interest as a lender, you would have to declare that as income. And again, if you check the written blog and Schedule A, that'll make a lot of sense. You definitely want to do that. Another thing I mentioned is margin interest. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that when someone borrows money to buy stocks, and that's what margin is, you buy stocks on margin, it's tax deductible, believe it or not. And that might be why we have had a stock market bubble, 2 in the last 10 years. And this was a factor as well during the 1929 stock market crash as well. So you want to be aware of that. And if you decide to buy stocks on margin, which something you might consider doing sometime in the future, you only want to do that with a discretionary portfolio, not with your retirement, not with your children's savings for education, or if you're buying a car. You really want to be careful, and you want to make certain you know what you're doing if you implement a strategy like that. Another thing I mentioned is charity, and I've mentioned this in a couple other blogs because it is really important, and usually there's a couple of bucks in there that everyone seems to miss from my experience. Cash, any cash donations, checks to the church and so forth, you could take those as deductions, again, assuming you're itemizing on Schedule A. Small gifts, toys for tots during the holidays, that would be tax deductible. Maybe outside your supermarket and so forth, you made some donations as well. And of course, some of the other ones I've mentioned in the past, books to the library, PAL box, and all those. You can get receipts, that's great, that's ideal. But you can be practical as well if you're able to retrieve those receipts at a later date in case it's ever questioned. Another thing that I mentioned, you want to make certain that you have good habits. If you're serious about building wealth, it's very likely that you're going to trigger an audit someday. So you want to make certain that you're preparing for that now, and you're getting yourself into good habits, getting organized, keeping the track of the basis of your investment. A lot of people lose the basis of their home. You really should have that. If you own a home, you should know any improvements that you made to that home and have a receipt and keep it in some type of file. So these are the types of little things that you do that are going to make a big difference for you, and these are just part of the good financial habits that you always want to be getting into. Make sure you check out the written blog. Make sure you check out our courses. They're only $25. We're running a special through April 15th, 20% off. I'd like to be one of your tax advisors this tax season. So you sign up for the courses, you'll be able to ask me questions right inside the courses in our tax section. Again, I'm Bob O'Brien. Thanks for being with me today, and have a great day.